This is Eric Brotman, the host of Don't Retire, Graduate, the podcast that asks you what you want to be when you grow up so you can graduate into retirement with purpose and with passion. Welcome to our Diary of a Financial Advisor segment, where we interview financial advisors about their professional journeys and their passion for helping others succeed. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by CFP Beth Nori from BFG. Beth's been with us a little over 8 years. She is a CFP practitioner, and she wears a slightly different hat as financial advisor in the firm, in that she does most of the meeting preparation and a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. So Beth's not somebody in front of folks as regularly, so she's doing this under total protest. But Beth, welcome to Don't Retire, Graduate.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into this industry and why.
I actually got into the financial industry a couple years out of college. I was looking for a job. I wanted to do something that interested me. I worked for a bigger financial firm. And then after a few years, I moved. We were in the DC area at the time. So after a few years, I moved back to the Baltimore area, and that's where I found BFG. And that's kind of where I was introduced to the financial planning aspect. And I really kind of grasped on to that.
So, Beth, what was it that drew you to this industry and ultimately specifically to BFG?
After a few years after college, I was looking for a job and I wanted to do something that interested me. I found a job at a bigger financial firm in the DC area. After working there for a few years, I moved back to the Baltimore area, and that's where I found BFG and was really introduced to the financial planning aspect. I kind of grasped onto that because I enjoyed working with clients and helping them meet their financial goals.
So in a big firm, sometimes you're a cog in a wheel. Whereas in a smaller firm, sometimes you can feel a little more impact and know people a little better. Has that been your experience so far?
Correct. I've been at BFG for about 8 years now, and I've really enjoyed, I've seen the company grow, but we haven't grown too much where it still feels like it's a family as opposed to a huge corporation.
So one of the things that you have done, Beth, and I'm gonna praise you a little bit publicly, but one of the things that you've done is you've tackled a role that some CFPs don't want to tackle, which is doing a lot of the behind the scenes prep work to make sure that all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted before a meeting happens, making sure that the portfolio reports and the analysis looks right, making sure that certain advice points or certain milestones or certain other recommendations are prepared so that when advisors then get into the room with clients, they have the relationship with the people and know how to take that technical and quantitative advice and turn it into qualitative, more human advice a little bit. What drew you to that portion of the business?
I love working with a bunch of different clients, so it actually allows me to work with more clients behind the scenes, as well as I feel like I'm very detail oriented, so I'm able to look at everyone's plans and figure out kind of what aligns best with them.
So one of the things we've done at BFG is we've promoted educational diversity. And we've tried to have people find a lane where they can really be the expert. And one of the things you've graduated towards or that you've grabbed onto is tax planning. And nothing right now feels more important a lot of the times for clients than how do we pay less taxes? How do we have a tax plan moving forward? How do we make sure that our tax returns aren't missing something? And we, of course, don't do tax returns, but you wind up working with a number of CPAs and helping to navigate some of the tax planning process. What inspired you to want to do taxes? Because again, that's what most CFPs are most afraid of. Why did that appeal to you?
I feel like during the prep, we are reviewing clients' tax returns. And so I was able to kind of look to see if everything's missing or if there's things there. And I've always saw myself going through them. And when we talked about special designations or specialties for people at our office, it kind of just fell into place that maybe I should take on the tax planning portion. Again, I feel like I'm very detail oriented. I like numbers and crunching numbers to see how we can save on taxes. So it kind of just aligned.
I have found in my 30 plus year career that the happiest you can make a client in a transaction is to save them taxes. Like it just brings so much joy. Very wealthy people, when saving $200 on a tax bill, feel so good about it. It's disproportionately favorable. But that is also a very big technical space. Now, you're not a CPA. Are you thinking about getting more in depth in the tax education, and what does that look like?
So I actually started a course this week. So it is 3 different courses. The first is working on taxes with accumulators, so people that are still working and trying to figure out a tax plan for them at that point in time. The second is for tax planning for retirement. And then the third course would be tax planning for the end of life.
Very interesting. So that when we have the 500 or 600 or 700 CPAs with whom our clients interact on a regular basis, we'll have somebody internally who has the financial planning background, but also can speak tax, much like we have multiple accredited estate planners in the office, myself included, and we speak lawyer without going to law school. You'll be able to speak tax accountant without doing the CPA. Is that sort of the crux of that?
Correct. I hope so.
So for clients who don't know, we do an analysis of tax returns behind the scenes. We have not done that tax analysis typically in front of folks before because we try not to step on CPA's toes. But I think the collaboration and the opportunities to improve that collaboration or enhance it are really, really significant. And Beth, I expect you'll play a big role in that. I got to ask you, because Don't Retire, Graduate has its own theme. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Great question. To be honest, I like where I'm at right now. I think a few years ago, I never would have thought I would be a CFP. I'm going to school to get a designation in tax planning. So I love working at BFG and the culture that's around us. So hopefully I'm here for a lot longer and we'll see where my path takes me.
Well, that's exciting news for me, selfishly. Because, I am going to graduate here before you. And so that's a plus. Beth, thank you for doing this. You did volunteer. Some of our advisors, I have to say, are voluntold. But Beth volunteered, and it was out of your comfort zone. So thanks. You did great.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to thank all of you for listening and watching today. If you enjoy our show, please subscribe and leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Those are priceless to us. Please also share the show with your friends and family so they can join you on your journey to financial freedom. If you'd like to send us a topic or idea you'd like us to discuss in a future episode of Don't Retire, Graduate, please post it on our Facebook page or tweet us at Broughton Planning. We'll be back next week with another engaging guest, and in 2 weeks with another entry in our Diary of a Financial Advisor. For now, this is Eric Brotman, your host, reminding you, don't retire, graduate.
Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC, Kestra IS, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, LLC, Kestra AS, an affiliate of Kestra IS. Kestra IS or Kestra AS are not affiliated with Brotman Financial or any other entity discussed.